Are you ready to master the art of connecting with your customers on a deeper level? Join us as we explore the strategies and techniques that will help you gain their trust and speak their language, paving the way for long term success. You don't want to miss tonight's show.
Our goal is simple: to help you achieve the dream and vision you first had when you thought about starting a business. We're here to make growing your business less complicated. There are building blocks to build a sustainable business. We promise to seek them out and address them all. The Better Your Business Show starts now.
Welcome to the Better Your Business Show. I'm Natalie Essman, founder of Your Money Expert, and my fabulous co-host, Shanna Mavis, the coach for business. And tonight we are diving deep into building trust and speaking your customers' language.
Yeah, and how to do that is one of the things I'm excited to have Bridget on. She's everyone knows and loves her. So I'm excited to have her back because it's a step that I've discovered that a lot of business owners don't take. And I don't know, I think part of it is the lack of understanding how to do it. And, you know, as we were talking in the pre-show convo, I was intrigued because I'm hearing Bridget say things that while I have this level of understanding of how important this is, there are still some tweaks that I can make to mine. So just being able to spend this time with her and give people a good understanding of what it means to really identify your dream client and how do you get them once you identify them, right? Because, you know, knowing who they are and speaking to them through social media or your marketing efforts or whatever it takes, knowing and doing two totally different things.
Mm-hmm. Definitely. Yeah, I'm really excited too because I always learn something every time we spend time with Bridget. So I always love to spend time with her. I'm really looking forward to tonight's topic. But I wanted to ask you, could you hear me on the opening? Because it showed me I was muted.
I heard you.
Okay, good. I just wanted to make sure. I was like, was I talking all muted? Okay, good. Good. So yeah, well, and the other thing too, and I'm sorry, I'm going to just go back, but I remember, so how long we've known Bridget, what, I think 3 years now, 2 years,
Yeah.
a little over 2 years. And so when I met Bridget, I had already had my business 18 years. And when we went through some of the stuff that we're going through tonight, it just made a huge difference because it really helped me to be able to be, I think, more laser focused on who I'm talking to. My language is different, you know, even how I make things prettier might kind of be a little bit different, right? Because I'm just more clear on who I'm talking to. Whereas before it might be like, let's just say I was trying to communicate through social media. It was kind of like throwing the spaghetti noodle at the wall and hoping something sticks, right? Now it's like, I know exactly what my target is. I know who I'm talking to, and I just, you know, run that part of the play. And as long as you're clear on that, hopefully the magic works from there. But you got to know who you're talking to first.
Yeah. And that was one of the things that I loved about, you know, when I first met her, right? When she joined the I Do Systems team initially, it was taking us through that exercise of really thinking about not just business owners, but specific business owners. What do we know about them? And getting that deep understanding. I know that we were all excited initially because it's like, oh, she's got experience with Facebook ads and Groupon, and, you know, she can do all of these things. But it was those foundational steps, taking that, you know, that the opportunity to really try to understand who it is that we can serve and then communicating that to them. So I'm looking forward to tonight and just being able to uncover a lot more of that for our audience.
Definitely. So let's bring her in. She has over 20 years of experience in advertising with Facebook and Groupon. She's ran campaigns for Visio Children's Hospital. So Bridget Brooks with Green Speak Social. You've seen her on the show before. We've had her on a few different times for different things. We're glad to have you back.
Hi, guys. Thank you so much for having me. You gave me goosebumps.
Yes. How we felt last time when you were here, when we were in the metaverse. We're like, mind blown.
Yeah, right.
And I
Awesome.
just want to say thank you so much for showing up tonight. We know that you have been sick, and that's the thing that she is so dedicated. And we were because we were like, okay, what are we going to do? What's plan B? And she's like, no, just send me the link. I'm going to show up. So happy to have you here. Hope you're feeling better.
You guys can't get it through the computer. It's okay.
No.
Worth it.
One thing I did want to mention that I didn't was that you have built multiple 6 and multiple 7-figure businesses. So I would say you have a lot of credibility in this area. So I want to make sure that our audience knows that you've done this numerous of times. And again, multiple 6 and multiple 7-figure businesses, right? Which is not an easy thing to do. You're a mom, you're a wife, you have 4 kids, 3 kids?
3 kids.
Yep,
I have a 19-year-old that goes to Grand Canyon University right now. I have a 17-year-old that's getting ready to get her vet tech, and then a 2-year-old.
Yeah. So it's not like you're sitting around all day just focusing on making money, right? You got a life.
I just sit around and eat bonbons just for one day.
Yeah.
Okay, so Bridget, let's talk about buyer personas. As we titled the show "Speak Their Language, Gain Their Trust by Understanding Who They Are." Right. So part of the way that we do that is by creating these buyer personas, and we've talked about this on the show before. But I do want to go into that, the importance of it, and then just some questions that people need to be asking as they're trying to create this.
Yeah. So here's the thing is that the buyer persona, if you don't have a buyer persona, then who are you talking to? And if you don't know who you're talking to, how are you building your message? And if you don't know what you're building your message around, how are you building your funnel? Right? So it really is the foundation before you start any marketing is knowing who is my dream client. And the beauty of picking out your dream client is it's exactly that. You get to mold it exactly how you dream, right? So you get to dream up this person exactly who you want to serve and exactly how you want to serve them from your own mind.
I like that. I have big dreams. So
we all got big dreams, sister, right? We all got big dreams.
And Natalie, one of the things that you were saying, when we were talking about this before this show, you just rattled off, I know who my ideal client is. They have this, it's this person, this age, this, that. But what about some of the challenges that we face in changing our mentality from I can serve everyone, anyone that has a business, right? I'm a coach. I could coach anyone that has a business, but that's not true. I know that I started changing things and really looking at, like you said, dream client, who I wanted to serve. I want to serve those people in the initial stages of business, that seed stage where you have an idea and you're overwhelmed potentially. It was really digging deep into that. But what do you do when you're faced with those decisions, male or female? Is it that you're just choosing one? I want to serve this over that, or really when there's that even split, sometimes we have to, how do we do that?
Sure. So if you look at all of the major brands, you look at Apple, Starbucks, Nike, I mean, you just keep naming these major brands. Every single one of them creates 28 daily attributes of their dream client. 28 daily attributes. That means 28 things where they can pick out of their dream client that dream client does on the daily, right? So, and if we take it a step back, when I first came into the marketing game, and everybody, it seems like anytime they come into the marketing game, it's always about pain point marketing, right? Hit their pain points, talk about their pain points, pain, blah. No more pain point marketing, guys. It is dead. If you're running pain point marketing, you're attracting the struggle people. You're attracting the pain people. You're attracting the people that probably aren't necessarily your dream client. But the reason you're attracting them is because of what the message that you're putting out. And it's all about the pain point. So what I like to do instead of pain point marketing is what I call transformational post. With the transformational post, this allows you to showcase your results and your transformation from an energetically aligned standpoint.
Pain point marketing is dead, says
Is
Bridget
dead.
Brooks.
You're gonna capture all those struggle people with those pain point marketing, right? I don't want to work with the struggles. I want to work with the people that have no fear around working with me, that are ready to take the leap, that are ready to take the dive, that are ready to know, okay, this is the direction I'm going and I'm ready to do it. And by using the transformational posts, those are the people that I pull out.
So why is it that we're still hearing so much about pain point marketing, and without saying, okay, well, they're wrong, right? It's still
I'll
prevalent
say
out
it.
there.
I will totally say it. They are wrong. If you're using pain point marketing, you are hurting your business, right? Why are we still hearing about it? It's such a great question, Shanna. Why is there still bro marketing happening?
Is there still what?
Bro marketing.
I'm like, I don't even know what that is.
Yeah,
Bro
what is
marketing?
bro
When you see the guys with the Lamborghinis that are like, I just made $1 million with Facebook ads, right? Like that stuff still happens. And it's disgusting.
Yeah.
It provides no value to our industry. It provides no value to our clients, right? But it
Yeah.
still happens.
It feels like that's part of the problem. It just adds more noise, and it's hard to fight through all of that noise that's out there when you've got every other post that I see is either that or about the challenges that I'm facing, or asking me if I have these challenges instead of showing me where I can go.
Right, right. So it still happens because the gurus still teach it, right? I know one of my coaches personally who still teaches pain point marketing to this day. I'm fortunate that I've been able to go through other coaches that have taught me about the transformational post, right? Because I'll tell you what, like, I'm not arrived yet. When it comes to this transformational post and energetic alignment, I haven't arrived yet. And I don't think I ever will, right? But that's the beauty of this, is that we get to share those transformations and connect to your end user at an energetic level instead of a pain level.
You know what I love about that too is like when I'm talking to myself is the truth. I do say this to other people too, but a conversation I have a lot with myself if I'm thinking scarcity or if I'm stressed out about something, I'm like, Natalie, you have to pick a team. You're either faith and abundance or you're fear and lack and scarcity. You got to pick one and start thinking better thoughts. And that's how I pull myself out of it. And I feel like the same with pain point marketing. It's fear, it's scarcity, it's, it's everything that's wrong with social media, or not everything, but a lot of what is wrong with social media.
It's
There's
the
nothing
noise.
that feels
It
good
really
about
is
it,
the noise.
Energy suck, just everything.
It is. So instead of focusing on the pain point, focus on the results you do have, right? It's so much easier to talk about the results you do have when you're doing it in a transformational post. So a transformational post is very easy. There's a beginning, there's a middle, and there's an end. The beginning is, here's where I started. The middle is, here's the transformation I made. The end is, here's the results I got. And I guarantee you, if you position your offer around a transformational post and not a pain point marketing post, you're going to see a whole new world of people that respond and engage with that post.
So I guess I should post then. And when I do, I should post something transformational. No, there's so much validity in what you're saying. I know that once you identify who it is that you're talking to, being able to share that. And we talked a little bit about this last week when Natalie called me out for my lack of abundance mindset, right? The language that I used. But as we think about, we're identifying these people, it really is helping them to see this is where you can go. This is where you are. Imagine yourself here versus looking at my circumstances as they are now.
Right.
I can help you get to here.
Yep. Exactly.
When that's not necessarily what you're looking at as reality.
And we see it in every industry, right? Like we talked about in our pre-show conversation about, the weight loss post, right? And if you're looking to lose weight, if you want to shed 10 pounds, if then, it's always if then, Those are your typical pain point posts. Instead, talk about, guys, I struggled. I yo-yo dieted my entire life. I went up and down my entire life. I could never find a diet that worked my entire life. I took one action, and maybe that action was I joined Herbalife, right? I don't know. I'm just using an example.
Yeah.
But there's where your transformation. I took this action, and these are the results I got. It's so much easier to connect with your client when you tell about your transformation. Or, Natalie, in your case, you're in the life insurance and health, insurance, all these areas, talking about how you've seen it personally firsthand affect someone's life in a positive manner, and talk about that transformation. We can sell from pain point all day long, but how are we serving our client if we're selling from pain points? We're not serving them. We're pointing out weaknesses and flaws. It's gross.
Yeah. And I'm glad you said that, because I like the idea of understanding it. I think you need to understand the pain points, right? But we don't have to talk about it when there are so many other ways, because it keeps you in that mindset. It just reinforces what you already know, instead of saying, okay, well, if you want to get out of that, let's not delve, let's not stay on that topic. Let's go ahead and look at where we're going and how we're going to get there. But working our way backwards from we're there, right? I know how to get you there. So why am I continuing to tell you where you are?
And it doesn't happen overnight, right? Like you can say, okay, I'm going to sit down and I'm going to pound out all 28 daily attributes of my dream client. And it's just not feasible. It's not realistic. And why would you do that to yourself anyways? You're just going to fry yourself, right?
Yeah.
What I love to do is I love to go and just outdoor experiences, right? Whether I'm at the casino or I'm at the park or I'm at the grocery store, and I'm watching people, what they're doing, and I'm pulling out key attributes that would be part of my dream client.
So I like that, because we were talking about that on the pre-show. How do you there has to be a starting point, I guess, is the best way to put it. There has to be a starting point, and then you can start kind of stalking your client. It's kind of stalkerish, but
I was going to say, or your future spouse. I think this is a great exercise if you're looking for a spouse too.
Right. It's true. But the beauty of it is that maybe you have an idea of who you want to serve, right? Like, Shanna, you like those people that are at the seedling stage, that are just starting out. And it doesn't maybe matter if they're male or female, right? But they're just starting out and they have that entrepreneur spirit. There's your foundation for your dream client. And then each day you can build another attribute and another attribute and another attribute, to the point where you have 28 daily attributes, that it's so easy to just talk about your transformational story based off of those attributes.
So I've got to know, what is the magic of 28?
I have no idea. I don't know why the number of 28 is the 28 daily attributes, but if you look at every single major brand, they all lean to this 28 daily attribute model.
28 is like a luxury number or something like that. If you look at Rolex always has the date on their watches on 28. I don't know if that has anything to do with it.
Probably. It probably does.
If you look at the cost of my journals, are $12.88.
I didn't dive into the actual number, the logic behind that number, but I bet I would be willing to bet that you are absolutely correct, Natalie.
Mm-hmm. So there you go.
Yeah. If we actually have time for a break, I'm going to look that up, because I want to know. Okay, so as we're identifying these people, we're sitting there. I'm going to the grocery store. I'm going to Chamber of Commerce, and I'm watching the different business owners, right? I'm compiling this list. What else do I need to do to help me understand who my target is? Because again, I need to understand them before I can start trying to speak to them.
Right. So this is where you really get to mold, right? You get to mold. I don't like saying client avatars. I love saying dream clients, right? Because maybe they don't exist yet. Maybe it's someone that you're actually going to mold together to get them to that dream level, right? But it's where you get to build your foundation, and it's exactly what you get to dream up. And it gets to change however your business changes.
Okay. So as that's, I mean, I guess that's interesting to me that it's going to change, or it could
Always
potentially
going to change.
change.
Yeah, your
Oh,
business is always going to grow, right? So when your business grows and your business model grows, your dream client's going to grow too.
okay. I see what you mean. Because I was like,
Yeah. Well,
but this person that I'm serving is going to be this person that I'm serving. But as your business grows and changes, you
So does
need
your
to
dream client.
dream differently.
yeah. Well, I remember when we had this conversation before, Bridget, and I was really having a hard time with if my client was male or female. Because I was like, no, there's married couples, right? And you're like, you have to pick one. And I was really having a challenge with that. And what that made me realize is where I was having some blocks or limiting beliefs for myself around my clients and their money, because my belief was always that men were typically the ones that had the final say to the money in the house, was what my mindset was. But then at the same time, I like working with females, so I'd have this struggle bus of who's my client, is it who's the decision maker, right? And I had that for a long time. I had that challenge, and then after we had it, you told me, no, you pick your, you pick which one you want, and the other one will show up by default because of that. And so mine's
Exactly.
female. Yeah, I picked female, but
Yep.
the husband will show up by default, right? If his wife has any credibility with him. So
And it's like that old Greek saying that the woman turns the neck for the man, right? And it is. It's no different with your dream clients. It doesn't matter if, today it could be my dream client could be a man who owns 3 businesses who needs heavy social presence, where 3 weeks from now that could change and it's not a man anymore and it's a woman and she has 4 businesses and no social presence on any 4 of her businesses, right? So excuse me, that dream client really gets to be molded exactly by us. And nobody can tell us this is wrong and this is right and this is the way it should be and this is the way it shouldn't be, because it's our dreams.
I love that.
Yeah, I do too, because it opens up the possibility of making sure that you know that your business can and should change. That as you understand more about your clients, you also understand more about yourself, walking through the process and what you do and don't want to do, what I am comfortable with, what I am passionate about. That's a big
Exactly.
thing for me, is wanting to make sure that I feel like my life matters, that what I'm doing matters. And so I know I've changed because I narrowed it down to just those people, because I know what it's like to feel overwhelmed. But I don't want to talk to you about your overwhelm. I just want to get in there and let's remove that overwhelm, right?
Right. Because if we're putting our message around the overwhelm, we're going to bring in the struggle bunnies, right?
Yeah.
That's exactly who we're going to attract. If our message is all about the overwhelm, those struggle bunnies are going to be like, it's me, it's me, it's me, it's me. And typically those struggle bunnies can't get to the next point.
Yeah.
Because
Well, they're
this is
too
where their
overwhelmed.
mindset's at.
Right. So at least that's been my experience, is, when I see it, I recognize it, and it's just like, okay, well, let's not focus on that. Let's focus on what we can do. Let's
The
take just
results.
one step. Just one step. That's all we have to do. You don't have to worry about all of the things and creating, 30-day social media calendar and posting I've got to do all of these things. You're going to stop yourself. You're going to stay in that same mindset. And so it's just like, no, just do this. Let's take this one step, right?
Right. And that's really where those transformational posts make it so easy, right? If you think about it, you have your 28 daily attributes, right? And like I said, that's not going to happen in one day. It might take you a month to come up with all 28, which is perfectly fine, right?
Yeah.
But you get to pick it out. Then you take those 28 daily attributes and you can start creating that transformational post based off of those 28 daily attributes, right? From there, your transformational post, again, simple: beginning, middle, and end. The beginning is, here's where I was. The middle is here's the action I took. The end is here's the results that I brought.
Yeah, that'll resonate with so many more people, because we all like a testimonial, right? And those are powerful because you see the difference. You see that they've gone from where you were to where you want to be. So being able to share that consistently via whatever marketing method you have.
If I wish I had better words to explain what happens with the energetic alignment in a transformational post. And I just can't put into words that when people see that transformational post, they're like, oh my gosh, that's me too. I was right there. Oh my gosh, there is a change, right? So the energetic alignment, you will always win with energetic alignment, and you will always lose with pain point marketing.
Well,
Okay,
the big boomers probably aren't going to agree with you on the always lose part if they're making a lot of money.
Yeah. And even
how long though?
And that's the thing.
A big burst of money, and then how long does that last? Are they able to sustain it? You can't sustain pain point marketing. You can sustain transformational marketing.
Agreed. I definitely agree with that. I'm looking at it from the other side of it because there are still people that respond to struggle. And if you're someone
you're a therapist, that's great. Right? But at the end of the day, people are seeking out your services because they do have a need. We don't have to poke them with their needs. We can poke them with the results that they're looking for in an energetic manner.
Agreed. I want to make sure that it's very clear. I love the positive side of things. I love the transformational side of things because that's what we're all looking for. We are designed to change. We do change. Every 7 years, for sure. Every cell in your body is new. Every 7 years, we change, right? Yeah. So it's just that. But to transform is more than just to change. It has this hopeful aspect of it that's what a lot of us are looking for out there. We want that transformation. We want people to see and know that it's different. And I think especially, business owners, life insurance, and any of the number of businesses that you do working with business owners and, various people in the different industries that you're in, Bridget, they're looking for something different. They're looking for that hope. They're looking for the results, that peace of mind, that there's such a difference.
Yeah. And it really takes away, when you do it from a transformational energetic standpoint, it really takes away all that fear.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
There is no question of, will it work for me? It removes that completely. It takes away that fear of, can I afford it? It removes that completely because they're able to witness the transformation themselves through a post and feel the energetic connection behind it.
Yeah, every time you say fear, I remember going through, and I don't even remember who told me this, but when I was working at one of the companies I worked for, they kept impressing upon us, you've got to go in, and it was that pain point marketing, but it was fear, uncertainty, and doubt. You've got to put as much of that in people as possible in order for them to buy.
That breaks my heart. It makes me cringe and be like, oh my God, those poor people.
Mm-hmm. But that is exactly that's what they were telling us, that you've got to make sure.
To this day, like I was brought into the marketing world being taught pain point marketing. Like I feel like maybe it's a rite of passage. I don't know. But now I'm at the other end of it and I'm just like, why would I do that to these people? Why would I want to hurt them?
Yeah. And it's a struggle for me, right? Because I want you to feel hope. I want you to enjoy building your business. That's one of the things that I keep trying to impress upon people. It's work, but it doesn't mean that it can't be fun. You should be enjoying it. You spend so much of your life and you pour so much of yourself into it. For me and my dream client, it is the one that recognizes that they've got this vision and, there's nothing that's going to stop them but they want to enjoy it along the way. They don't want to feel what
Absolutely.
they've been feeling, lack of support or not. They can find that support within themselves. And so, yeah, it breaks my heart thinking back on that too. And we were B2B, so and I don't mean to to diminish it.
It's a little bit more aggressive when it's B2B as opposed to B2C, right? So
Right,
I
but
understand that aspect of it.
but it's still a better way of, I feel like transformational posts would have still been more effective for us, right? Because we could show them the difference in their life instead of trying to, again, because bottom line, we're talking to a human.
Right.
So to try to fill them with fear, uncertainty, and doubt.
And I can tell you, I've signed enough $30,000 to $50,000 contracts that when you are creating a contract with someone that doesn't have can't see the transformational results, right? They're only looking at, this is the result that I need, but they're not able to see that transformation. They're much more concerned about how that $30,000 is spent than the people that actually go through contract with the $30,000 that are able to see the transformational post. Okay, here's where you started. Here's where the action you took. Here's the results you made.
Yeah, money's not an object when the person sees the value.
Correct.
Right? If one of our kids needed a major surgery that was going to cost $50,000 that we didn't think we had, we'd probably have it, real quick at that point because we'd see the value in getting it. As soon as we see the value, it's not an object.
Yeah, and they're going to have a lot harder time signing that check at $30,000 when you're pushing on their pain points than if you're energetically aligning with them.
Right. You're getting them fired up about the future, about the possibilities. I can feel it now. Right? I mean, that's the truth, though.
It is.
That's like a lot of the companies doing, so much hype. Like there's a new financial services firm that just kind of came up on the radar. And there's so much hype on social media. And of course, because I'm in financial services, I'm getting calls and it's hype, 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 hype. I'm like, I can't be sold on hype at this point. But if I have to choose one, I'd rather have hype than the pain point for sure.
Yeah.
Is that for me, Shanna? Are you able to share your screen?
Oh, no, it's not. Now they get to see behind the scenes.
Yeah.
Okay, so we are going to pause this conversation for just a little bit. We want to bring back Just Good Business. I was actually sitting at my desk last night and Fabian Lyons went live, Game Changers with Fabian Lyons. And I was like, let me check this out. And he had the most inspirational guy on there. And it's another one. We've featured companies like this before, but it's called Empowering Cuts. And this is a guy that has a mobile barber shop. He initially started with like GoFundMe to raise like $70,000, I want to say. And he converted an RV into a mobile barber shop, and he serves homeless communities around the world. It was just, he talked about his story and how he got into it, and just that recognition that they need, like we believe when you look good, you feel good. And in turn, you do good. And he talked about when he's cutting hair and how he doesn't wear gloves. He wants them to feel like, he said they already feel like they're probably dirty or this or that. And he doesn't want them to feel any less than, and so he just does an amazing job. And those, he said, a lot of the people that he serves are either addicted to drugs or homeless because of like addictions. And part of his, what he will do is go and connect them with a treatment center. So he's literally changing people's lives by getting them the help that they need. But it starts with this free haircut. They've got a bathroom in there, and he's like, they've got warm towels. And I mean, it's completely tricked out. And I loved it when I was looking at that. But just his passion and his willingness and heart to serve these people that are often overlooked, that people don't know how I'm supposed to help them. How can I help them? And he found a way. He is like, it's the drug problem is prevalent where he came from. And he shared some of the story about, how it's still like in his family and things like that. But
Talk
he's
about
not letting me
transformational
shine.
stories, right? Like,
Oh yeah,
man,
yeah.
this is it. You couldn't have picked a
Yeah,
better one.
I was so
exactly.
touched when I saw that. I was just like, this guy is amazing. And, just hearing him, and it wasn't like he started out with a whole bunch of money. He was a guy that got out of jail, and he talked about that, his backstory. But when he got out and he said he went to barber school, it changed his life. I was this way. And then I went to barber school and it changed my life. And now I'm doing this and helping so many people along the way. And he even mentioned some of their transformational stories, right? A couple of the people specifically that after he dropped them off at the treatment centers, how they've come around and changed their lives and are helping other people. And it was so beautiful that I was just like, okay, guy. Joshua Santiago, I think is his name, of Empowering Cuts. It was just like, I couldn't think of a better Just Good Business.
And a
Definitely.
perfect example of transformational stories and how it
Perfect
really
example.
connects.
Yeah. All right. So we'll take a quick 30-second. You'll get to hear the music again, and then we'll come back with Bridget Brooks. And
All
we're
right.
back.
We are back, yes, with Bridget Brooks and Green Speak Social, and we are talking about your customers, how to speak their language and gain their trust. Awesome.
So Bridget, thank you so much for coming back to the show with us. And I'm excited to dive a little bit deeper in on this second half, because while we don't necessarily want to fill anyone with fear, uncertainty, or doubt, we don't want to do that at all. I do want to talk about some of the common pitfalls and how we can avoid those. So what are some of the challenges and just the ways that people might be doing or thinking about things wrong, and how can we overcome those?
Yeah. So the very first common pitfall that I see is that people think that their dream clients have to be certain something that someone else says, right? And that's not the case at all. Like we talked about this. This is your dreams. This is how you get to mold, how you get to create, and how you get to vision. And nobody else gets to say that it's right or wrong, right? From there, paralysis by analysis, right? Paralysis by analysis happens so much. And what this means is that, okay, you're like, okay, I've got my client avatar. I understand how I need to talk to them. But now what do I say? It happens to all of us, guys. It still happens to me to this day. I know who my dream client is. I know my mold perfectly, but I still am like, I've already told them this. What do I say? Right? So that's where people will be like, oh, you have to post once a day, every day, 3 times a day, every day, right? And I don't necessarily think that's true. What I do believe is, are you telling a story with a result-driven action? That's it.
Result-driven action.
Natalie's going to be on fire. I cannot wait to see what she does with all of this. But yeah, analysis paralysis is real. And one of the things, and I have to give Colette Portis credit for helping me with this, because now I can identify when I'm doing it. And I can also see when I cannot, it started with me, right? Once I was able to see that this is exactly what I was doing, and the way that she helped me get through a lot of what how it was manifesting in my life was telling me, you got 3 passes and then you're done. You can look at it 3 times and then you're done, because otherwise you're going to sit and try and perfect it to death and nothing is ever going to come out.
Yeah.
And I was like, wow. And that was challenging for me at first, because I was like, but what if on that 4th pass, I got it right? Right.
I can so see you being that way too. That's so funny.
But then it was really just sitting and listening to what she said, because I knew that she was for me. I knew that she could see that in me, and that's exactly what I would do, because the 4th time would then turn into the 5th time.
Yep.
And then I
Yep.
would never get anything released.
And what I see happen so often with that too is that, we're trying to make sure that we're putting everything out just right instead of just sharing a story. If you think about all the noise on social media, the stuff that you actually stop and read is because it's a story,
Yeah.
right? And that's how you can get that energetic connection. It doesn't have to be perfect. It just has to be told.
Yeah, we've been talking. Shannon and I have been talking about filming our Instagram video for like who we are for the Better Your Business show. You're supposed to have your little 3 videos. And so I was looking at some people's accounts today, and there's this guy that I follow. He's like the Market Hustle, I think it is. He has almost 1 million followers. And so I went to go look at his page because he mostly just posts black boxes with white text, right? That's really all he posts, right? So I went, and he actually had 3 they weren't videos, they were actually just stock photos that he had typed out and pinned to the top. He's only 28 years old, right? And I never would have known if I went and looked at the page. But now I totally forgot my point was to that. But yeah, he's got this. Oh yeah, but I mean, he was so shy at 28. He just typed it out and put it there. And he has almost 1 million followers on Instagram.
Perfect. And if you think about it, like think about social media right now and the way that social media is moving. It's TikTok, it's Reels, it's user-generated content. It is not pristine perfection. Nobody likes that anymore. It's not TV commercials anymore. Nobody's interested in that. That's why we have streaming TV and everybody fast forwards through their commercials, right? It is about authentic transparency.
Yeah. It's so hard. Coming from, it is hard breaking out of that mentality though, because for so long we were taught, I mean, it depends on where you came from. And, but we were taught that things needed to be, you had to do things a certain way. There's a right way and a wrong way. And it's just like, no, just tell your story, just show up as you, and people resonate, that they respond to that because they can connect with you. They get a chance to see who you really are. That's part of my challenge with a lot of social media. The time it takes, but I don't want to see just the Instagram story. I really want to know who you are. I want to know more about you. And sometimes that is, the crazy things that we say or things that we think. And I will, Natalie, you would be proud of me. I did do my video, and I just finally, after, I think I did have 4 takes and then I was just like, I'm done. I can't do this one more time. I
want to touch on something that you just said, because it really stuck out to me. The crazy things that we say, right? We think it's crazy. One of my favorite people is Jamie Kern Lima, right? She wrote Believe It. She wrote Worthy. She is incredible. She is the CEO of Maybelline Cosmetics. She started It Cosmetics. She was turned down over and over and over and over and over and over again with It Cosmetics for 7 years, right? She doesn't say, you're not crazy. You're just first. You're the first to tell your story.
Okay, well, my story is a little crazy, Bridget. That makes me, right? That is how I went through a personal branding exercise with Maria Pangalos. It's they have Ambrosia Consulting. We went through this, and at first I was challenged by not showing up as a certain person. The whole point was for me to show up authentically me, right? And that required me to examine who I was and what I was about. And I loved, she put together this Canva board that she just like harvested my from social media and from Google searches and all of that. And I was like, oh, well, you didn't go back too far, right? But it was so fascinating to see myself on paper like that, in this digital form. And I was so thrilled when I saw it, because I was a lot closer to really showing up. She had words like faith. She had words like love. My relationship with God, all of those things came through. And that made me so happy. Just being able to see that, to know that that's really who I am. And if that's who you're, this is me, this is what you get
Yeah.
at
And
any given
I'll
point.
tell you, for 5 years with my advertising agency, I was hiding behind a mask. It was,
Yeah.
how do I need to show up? How do they want me to show up? Who do
Yeah.
they want me to be? And it wasn't really me, right? So in the past year, I have opened up a wholesale business that is geared towards the cannabis and hemp industry, right? That is true Bridget. That is
Yeah.
authentic
I
true
could
Bridget.
tell when I read your page when you said, you're in this industry when your phone autocorrects to dink. I was dead.
Right. That is, I mean, I am a big medicinal marijuana user, right? That is authentically Bridget. I hid that person from the world for 5 years trying to build this agency, and I built a beautiful agency around it, but there was no authenticity behind it.
Yeah.
If I can keep one person from having to do that, I've done my job.
And I don't know why, but this keeps coming up for me, but I keep thinking about like people in the entertainment industry who are constantly being told, how they have to behave, how they have to be. And then you look at all the mental health challenges in that industry, and it kind of almost makes sense from that perspective. It's almost like, how do I even know who I authentically am anymore when I've spent decades of people? Well, I mean, I guess that could be all of us, right?
Masking. Yeah.
Yeah,
Really
and being who other
masking.
people
And
told
we
me.
all do it from this little to this big, right? My story was, it's huge. I hid who I was for 5 years because I was showing up how I thought they wanted me to show up instead of just being me.
Mm-hmm.
And it's freeing.
What was that?
I said it's freeing.
Yes.
It's so freeing. Like, I don't have to hide anymore. I don't have to pretend that I'm some perfect little Susie homemaker pristine agency owner. I'm your, hey, let's smoke a doobie and have a good time and create. That's
make multiple 7-figure businesses. Woo!
Well, only one 7-figure so far. We're working really hard to get the 7, but 4 6-figure, 1 7-figure.
Still sounds like a good time.
That's the Better Your Business show. Okay, we've got a couple minutes left. So Bridget, practical tips, anything that, as we think about the topic, speaking your customer's language, gaining their trust, understand who they are, any practical tips, tricks, anything?
Guys, just do it. Share your story, share your transformations, and don't be afraid.
Oh, well,
there you
that
go.
was easy.
Just do it. Don't let the fear
like
roll
it's
you.
not that complicated.
No, it's really not. We make it so much more complicated than it has to be with our, I have to be this way. They think I'm this way. I got to show up this way. I got to say this to make sure I land this. I got to do that to make sure I land that. It's all BS.
Mm-hmm.
All right. How can people reach you? Tell us a little bit about that so they'll know where to go.
Yeah. So you guys can follow me on the socials. All of our socials is greenspeak.social. You can find us on Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, TikTok. In addition to that, you can also go to my Instagram page, and I actually have on there a link for my calendar. And if you're really struggling for creating your dream client or creating your message, your transformational message, I want to go ahead and just offer anybody in the audience, they can jump on. We can do a dream client strategy section for a steep discount. You can jump on. We'll work through it together and get you going in the right direction. Oh, it's greenspeak.social.
I just re-put it in there, Carlton. Sorry.
There you go.
Perfect. All right. Thank you so much, Bridget. It was such a pleasure having you on here.
Yes.
Thank you so much. Super honored.
Hopefully I can get to Vegas soon and see you.
I'll be there in 2 weeks.
4 hours away.
I'm there at minimum once a month.
Okay. Awesome. Well, next time I'm out there visiting my family, I'll hit you up.
All right. Very good.
All right.
Very good.
Thank you.
Bye.
Awesome.
That was amazing.
Yes. Bridget always brings a wealth of information for sure.
Yeah. Yeah. And she's got such, it's so easy to understand, and she just puts it in plain language, right? Just do it. Just do it. Don't be afraid. And that is a challenge for people, but we've all done it, right? You're doing it. I'm doing it. And it's just like, get over it. Get over yourself. It's going to be fine.
Mhm.
But let's talk about money. We're going to talk about grants, and then you're going to go into a money minute for us. So, Carlton, if you can bring up the first grant, we have covered this one before, but Verizon now has announced for certain cities the Small Business Digital Readiness Grant. You've got until April 8th. So we're giving you a little bit more time. If you're in Phoenix, the greater Houston region, Miami, or the city of Los Angeles, all of those are open for a $10,000 grant. You have to register for free on the Verizon Small Business Digital Ready portal, and you have to complete at least 2 courses, coaching sessions, attend community events, or a combination of those. However, I wanted to point out, the reason I wanted to bring this one up is because they've got so many free resources for business owners. So if you are a business owner, go in there. We never know when they're going to offer the grants in your city or what have you, but they've got so many free courses and coaching opportunities that are absolutely free. Please go on there and register. There's a wealth of resources there. And then the other one is not actually a grant. It is a cash prize, and it's by Barclays Bank. And I think they're in conjunction with another one. Yeah. It's called Small Business Big Wins. You tell your story. And
Wow.
it is, I think they're going to give away 6 prizes, but a chance to win $60,000, minimum 250 words, maximum 500 words. So it's a very short story that you're telling, and you're just answering a few questions that they've got that will give you those prompts. It is pretty amazing. I think you have to do a photo as well, but being able to talk about how you got started, why you're passionate about what you do, it felt like it was such an amazing thing. And I like the fact that it's a cash prize, because there are fewer restrictions on that. Grants, sometimes you have to spend them in the way that they dictate, but here you have the chance to win. Absolutely. I didn't see any entry fee or anything like that. So go ahead, check that out. They did have one thing that they said, make sure that it is not an AI generated essay. So use your own, tell your story, tell your transformation story, and you could potentially win $60,000. And over to you, Nat. Did we lose Natalie?
All right. Can you hear me, Shanna?
Okay. I can hear you now.
I was gone for a minute. I'm back. Okay. Awesome. All right, you guys. So I wanted to show you for tonight's Money Minute, Money Pantry. And what I like about this site, Carlton, you can just kind of scroll down if you want to slowly and kind of show them. But what I love about this site is it gives you tips for making money. It gives you opportunities to make money. They have a blog program there where they'll pay you, get paid to write blogs, money tips, entrepreneurial secrets, all sorts of good things for money, side hustles, all sorts of good stuff. So if you're looking to become an entrepreneur, you're like, hey, you know what? I know I need to do something on the side, or I want to get out of the 9-to-5. I just don't know how. Start looking at some of these sites, because it just really helps you get those creative juices going. But this is Money Pantry. Again, you can go there. We'd try to give you opportunities to make money. They can give you a way to make money by writing blogs, and then there's all the freebies, save money, make money, all sorts of good things there for you. So check that out.
Yeah, I saw that, make money and then save money. And I like freebies, right?
Yes.
That's one of the things when we were talking about the Rescore community. It was like, people like free stuff. I cannot be, I know I'm not the only one that likes something free. So to be able to go there and see all of those, did you check out some of the side hustles they had other than writing blogs? Do you remember what some of them were?
So the one they pay you for is the blogs, but it gives you different ideas for side hustles on there.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. But you can, that supposedly, I didn't like write a blog and see how I get paid and stuff. On some of the other ones I've looked at for your guys, I've done that. On this one, I didn't. Maybe I'll do it this week and I'll get back to you guys on it. I'll write a blog and send it in. When I discovered that site, just so you guys know, a little tip, the person that was writing her blogs for the site was using AI to create them. So it's another way you can use AI to make money on the site.
So there were no restrictions on that way. As long as you delivered the content that they were looking for, everything was totally fine.
That's what she said on the video. I guess you don't really know until you're in the game, but that's what she said on the video.
I'm gonna check that out, Natalie.
I know that's right up your alley with the blogs. You're like, I could write blogs all day long. I know.
I could. I feel like that's a way to make money. All right, I'm gonna do that. I might also. Well, no, I really am. Oh, that $60,000 cash prize. You have only a few days. I think it was March 4th is when that closes. So just go tell your story, 500 words or less, and submit it. There's no harm in it. You might win. But okay, so before we go, key takeaways from our conversation with Bridget.
Oh my gosh. I'm excited to start writing transformation posts. You know I am. I'm ready to write the transformation posts, right? And just, I think that's the biggest takeaway is how do you write the post to be transformational, which really is easier to me, I think, anyway. So that was one of my biggest takeaways.
Okay. For me, I'm really intrigued by the 28 daily attributes because I know like I've created a buyer persona and it could be that I just need to go back through and review it to see what attributes I can pull out. And I also I didn't during the break take a look to see what the magic of 28 was, but I want to go through and make sure that I have that so that as I'm telling that transformational story, as I begin to create more content, or have the content created for me because that's not my thing. I do want to make sure that I'm hitting those points that I'm speaking to the people that I'm trying to attract to me. So yeah, I love the idea of, being able to measure that, have something to go against and pick from those attributes to speak to the people that I want to join my circle.
Yes. If you're watching this show and you know what the 28 attributes are for, drop it in the chat. There you go. Google it for us. So I put the site that the moneypantry.com in there. And then if you follow our Instagram at the Better Your Business Show _ subscribe to our broadcast channel. There's no fee for you to subscribe to it. You'll get replays of tonight's show. You'll get all the grant information. You'll get the Money Pantry information. You'll get notice advance on any giveaways that are going to be happening. So if we have any giveaways that we're doing for the show, so make sure you go on there. We're going to try to give you guys free resources to where you're like, woo, resourced out. So go and subscribe to our broadcast channel. We want to give you guys all the value to where it's like you have no excuses for not getting papered up and building your business. So yes.
You make me so happy.
Thank you, darling. I want one of those guns. Next time I'll be like, woo!
All right.
All right, guys. Well, that's
so much fun.
Yes, definitely. That's tonight's show. So your customers speak their language and gain their trust. Make sure you take the time to get clear on who your buyer persona is. 28 qualities. Remember, it can change. It's going to change. That's okay. As we change and grow, right? Those things change and grow too. So thank you everyone who joined us. Make sure you give us a like, share, and subscribe. We need your support. That's how we keep this business or this show going. Our business, Mine and Shanna's business going. We need your support. So get the word around. You guys all say you love the show. So make sure you share it with people that you know would get value from the information that we are sharing tonight.
Yeah.
All right, guys, that's a wrap. We will see you next week. Have a beautiful weekend. And don't forget to do something today that will help you better your business. Bye, everyone.
Our goal is simple: to help you achieve the dream and vision you first had when you thought about starting a business. We're here to make growing your business less complicated. There are building blocks to build a sustainable business. We promise to seek them out and address them all. The Better Your Business Show starts now.